Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Unwind Friday. It's your girl, Lissa Black, bringing you the heat with the little street. So, guys, I know you probably can see I am alone tonight. Um, Really, I just wanted to show Marie that one monkey don't stop no show. No, seriously, guys. I really just wanted to show Marie that even if she's at an event, because Marie is not going to be with us tonight, she is at an event, that I'm still going to hold down the fort. Now, I was nervous at first, guys. I'm like, can I do this alone? And then I'm like, you know what? Why not? I got this. I'm going to hold down the fort for us. So, guys, welcome to Unwind Friday. Tonight, I want to just do it a little different because I know normally we find these topics and we go over these topics, but in lieu of our life and health coach not being here, I found 21 powerful coaching questions to ask yourself. So today I found myself first. I was prepping for something, and then I found myself in a place where I was disappointed because something did not work in my favor. And no matter how much we prepare and try to prepare ourselves and get ready for something not to work in our favor, if that's something that we do, it doesn't feel good. It's not a good feeling. And so today I found myself in a spot or in a place where I'm like, wow, I'm disappointed. I hate the feeling of disappointment, especially when you feel like you tried and you tried and then it's so crazy. No matter how hard you try, everything feels good until it's not good. And then you start to critique yourself and you're kind of like, what did I do wrong? What happened there? So, question number one. It's going to do 21 powerful questions to ask yourself. So, when I seen this, it kind of resonated with me, especially in the space I was in for tonight. The first question is, and if you guys, when you guys log on and you see these questions, I want you to kind of just answer these questions, whether it's in the comments or to yourself, or grab a piece of paper because I'm going to try to go over them fairly slowly so that you can hear them, and then start to think about it, start to let it marinate and figure out what is it, what about me? So the first question is, a year from now, what decision will you be glad you made today? A lot of us are in spaces where we're trying to grow in our career. We're trying to save financially. We are trying to go into a different space in our lives. We are coming into a different space in our lives. And some things have pushed us into a different place in our lives. So when you think about all those different things, when you think about personally, when you think about professionally, and just being an adult in general, um, a year from now, what decision will you be glad you made today? And I think for me, when I think about that question and I think about the space that I am in today, I think that knowing that I did what I could do and there's nothing that I can do to change the results that have happened, and that I have to pull myself up and I have to keep going because I have to keep going because there is no growth in stopping. There is no use in lingering in the past because if I don't figure out, I'm going to ask questions first, and then I'm going to take that information and I'm going to move forward. So, again, question number one is, a year from now, what decision will you be glad you made today? So, when you look back on today, a year from now, you're like, man, today I did this, and I'm going to be glad that I did this a year from now. But if you're doing something that you're not going to be proud of a year from now, a month from now, or whatever that looks like, then you may want to change your path. Number two, which of your strengths will help you reach your goal this day? Well, let's read that again. Which one of your strengths will help you reach this goal? So, whatever goal you have, when you think about all your goals, no matter what those goals pertain to in life, what strength of yours will help you reach this goal? I think my strength is going to be just the ability to keep going, the ability to critique myself, to grow and say, you know what, this is what you did, this is what you didn't do, this is what you can do better. This is a skill you can learn, and just trying to grow in those different spaces. So my strength is always trying to look at the bigger picture. figure out what it is that needs to be done and what I have done, and kind of bringing those together. So I want you guys to think of which of your strengths that will help you reach your goal, whatever that goal is. Number 3, what will happen if you stay exactly where you are? If you did nothing today, nothing tomorrow to change your situation that you are currently in, how would you feel about that? Like, what would happen if you stayed exactly where you are? Some people are in a good space. Some people are where they wanted to be. Some people are where they plan to be for a while because, like I said, everybody is so different. And if you did nothing and you did exactly what you have done to get where you are, and you stayed exactly where you are, if you look back on this day, if you look back on this period of time in your life, what would you say? What would you say to yourself? What would happen if you just did nothing and stayed exactly there? Number 4, what's the worst thing that can happen if you choose X option? So let's say there's a few options in front of you, a few things that you can do in your life to take your life to this different course. Either way, you're going to go, a, it's going to take you on a different course of life, right? So what happens if you choose that one that seems not so good, the one that's the underdog, if you will? What would happen if you chose that option? So you want to kind of want to jot down those things. What do you think will happen? Because obviously we can't really predict the future, but we can absolutely forecast and think about well, if I choose this option, this is what could happen. So, or what's the worst can happen? Because sometimes the worst thing is not bad enough where we will not move forward. So when you think of those things, what's the worst thing that can happen if you choose option X? So for me, when I think about, like I said, the space I'm in, if I stayed exactly where I was at, or if I chose to stay here and just waddle and let this overcome me or let this make me down, what would happen? It's not good for me. So I know for me, X option, the worst case scenario is I would only make things worse. And making things worse is just not an option for me. I just don't have that type of energy because the worst has already happened for me. And that's in this scenario. So I'm only can go the best way now. So I can only go up, I can only move forward. So number 5, if you weren't worried about this, what would you be thinking about instead? If there is something on your mind right now and you were not worried about that in this moment, what would you be thinking about instead? So again, I feel like I'll be getting ready for my big event tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to do the Rock the Runway Pink Diamond Ball. My sisters and I, we all got our VIP tickets. We got our outfits. Like, I will be pumped right now. I'll be like getting ready, doing little prep things like after my Unwind Friday. But instead, I'm like, man, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out another route. And I feel like it just put me in a different space. However, I am going to still prep and I'm still going to do that because I know me. I'll waddle and I'll dwell on something for a minute and then I'll realize I'm like, nothing I can do about it. Let's move forward. So, oh, I didn't tell y'all what y'all, you know what? I normally tell y'all what I'm unwinding with. So today it is my classic, what I always unwind with, guys. It's going to be my winter white. As you know, that's a Michigan wine there. So that's what I am unwinding with tonight. What are you guys unwinding with? And guys, when I share this video, guys, what happened is I was trying to get into my Facebook on the streaming app, but I accidentally logged into my other Facebook page and I could not figure out in time how to get out of it and into the correct one. So I was not able to link it to the group. So I just have to share it to the group. So I apologize for the people who don't see this notification, who have not subscribed yet, who think we did not go live tonight. Because I am here, guys. So I will drop this video into the group when I am done here. So number 6, are you in your head right now or your heart in whatever you are doing currently? Are you in your head? Are you overthinking? or are you in your heart? Are you going with your heart? Or whatever that feels like. And I think that is a very powerful question. Are you in your head right now or your heart? Number 7, picture your future self. What kind of things does she believe about herself? Guys, when I think about my future self, because I'm telling you today, I'm just like, all right, what is something that I want to do? Like, where is my path guiding me? What is it that I'm going to do that I'm going to be excited about? Something that's going to be pumped about, something I'm going to get up every day and want to do. Because a lot of us, I know it's just not one of those things that people say, right? It's unpopular opinion, but everybody do not know their purpose. I feel like everybody is not in a place where they're like, I know exactly what I want to do. This is exactly for me. I just feel like a lot of us are trying things out, and if it's not for us, we move forward. So for me, I just feel like I haven't found something that I have been doing. Um, and I just felt so amazing about it, like so pumped about it. So like I'm getting up every day. I want to do this right now. So picture your future self. What kind of things does she believe about herself? But picturing my future self, I still believe whatever it is I'm going to do, I am going to now do wholeheartedly. And that is big for me because everything I used to do was more so do it to get it done. It was kind of, I'm just doing it because I have to do it. I'm doing it because I know how to do it. But I feel like new me, developing, growing me, um, is in a space where I'm like, I want to do whatever I do wholeheartedly. I want to learn more about it. I want to really dig into it. I want to have to work for it because as a skater, like I'm a person, like I say, I'm a skater. I'm a person that normally don't have to put a lot into something and I still get very good results. But now I'm forcing myself out of that space, and life is forcing me out of that space where I'm like, okay, I want to have to work for it. I want to have to figure this out so that I can get it done. Number 8, what have you been looking for outside of yourself that's actually within? I think that is something I always have been looking for. Wanting to not be a skater, wanting to have to work for something, wanting to be happy about working for something. So ask yourself, what have you been looking for outside of yourself? Whether it's love, whether it's exception, whether it's appreciation, that's actually within you. Number 9, what must you believe in order for this problem to exist? So, what must you believe in order for this problem to exist? So, you gotta, like, if you believe in, like, oh, I've not loved, or I need to find love, or if you finding things in a different, like, if you're trying to look for something inside of a person that's actually need to be found inside of you because of past things that have happened, like neglects or abandonments, or a parent wasn't there, or parents wasn't there, whatever it is, I feel like that could be the problem that exists. And you have to get to the source of the problem, because if you get to the source of the problem, then you can begin to work on a solution. Number 10, how has fear, habits, belief served you so far? Like, and now, like, that's so powerful. Like, when you think about fear, when you think about habit, when you think about your beliefs, how far have that gotten you? How far can that get you? Especially fear, because fear is crippling, right? It stops you from doing something. But there is success in fear. There is success in not breaking out of those old habits and trying new things, and believe, like starting to believe different things or being open minded. I believe that's going to help you grow in your future. Number 11, if you woke up tomorrow and this problem was gone, what would be what would be the first clue? So if you had an issue today and you woke up tomorrow and this problem no longer existed, how would you know? What would be the first thing that told you that this problem no longer existed? Or is it really a problem? Because sometimes, guys, we make things bigger than what they are by overthinking, by jumping to conclusions, by projecting ourselves onto other people. And when we do that, we start to believe there's a problem that probably never even existed. So, what would be your clue if this problem that's bothering you, that has you in your head and not in your heart, and have you in a dark place or whatever it is? Think to yourself, if this disappeared tomorrow, how would I know that it is gone? And that may help you start to believe that, do I really have a problem? Is this really a problem? Or is this something that I kind of created because I was feeling some kind of way, or if I was in a different space? So that's like, that's a very important question. Number 12, if this changed overnight, how would I be able to tell tomorrow? Again, I feel like that goes into number 11. So if this changed over to, like I said, if this changed overnight, how can you tell tomorrow? Is there something that you're like, all right, well, financially, if I got $1 million in the bank, obviously the first clue gonna be you probably gonna check your account, or you gonna file out, like, what would, suddenly you don't worried about it. You check your account and all your problems are gone. But you still need a clue, right? So if you woke up tomorrow and this problem was gone, what would be your first clue? Number 13, who beliefs plus worldview have you unintentionally adopted for yourself? Sometimes, guys, we are around somebody. That's what they say. Be careful who you allow in your circle, in your presence, right? Because sometimes, guys, we are around people and we begin to hear their stories, and we begin to see and hear about their lives, and we are a part of their lives and we are part of their world. They start telling us their beliefs, what they think, how they feel, and we can adapt that into our lives. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's unconsciously. So when you start to think about the things that you suddenly believe in your worldview, start to think about what happened that created that worldview and those different beliefs. Who were you around that also believed that? And sometimes it could be our parents. So when you think about that, don't just think of friends or partners, your parents. A lot of us have adopted our worldviews from our parents because that's who we were with, that's who we grew up with, that's who raised us, that's who taught us those different things. Number 14, which of your expectations around this have been unrealistic? Again, guys, sometimes we project ourselves on off the people. Sometimes we say, if it was me, I would have done this. And that person may not ever have thought about it, or that situation may not ever would have come had had you not thought about it in that space. So sometimes things are unrealistic and we don't realize how unrealistic they are until somebody else have to tell us. So I would say, get you an accountability partner, start to talk to people and kind of tell them how you feel, especially if you're in a place that that's challenging, I would say. And then they can probably help you work through that, because I know myself and Marie, we talk on the phone all the time. And if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I'll tell her the situation, and then, or she'll tell me the situation, and we can kind of bounce back off each other. And then sometimes I realize, well, maybe I'm not being realistic, or maybe I'm not being fair in my thoughts on that. Um, so number 15, which of your accomplishments are you not owning right now? So many times we could have many accomplishments and many things that we are doing great at, and we have that one setback, that one thing, and it wipes all of that away. Like I said, I'm not a, like I said, I want to be transparent, because we have things that we go through too. Life is not perfect, of course, because in the perfect world, hey, we just make money without working, right? But in the real world, today I had some news. I was kind of hoping for good news. I had been looking at this I was been looking in my account over and over repeatedly, and then I found out that I didn't get what I was hoping for, the results that I was hoping for. So it put me in a different space. So all the wins I've had, I can't even focus on those. I can't even reflect on those, because I was just so caught up on what didn't happen for me. And then especially when you're asking questions, that's kind of like, well, there's no way this can't happen for me, because I crossed my T's and I dotted my I's. And when that didn't happen, it was like, okay, so what is it? Okay, is it me? What is it? So then any other positive thing that has happened has been overshadowed by that one um non-positive thing. So number 16, what do you think you're being called to learn through this situation, the situation you in? What do you believe is trying to teach you? What have you learned from it? What have you pulled from it? I mean, I feel like when I reflected back on my situation that I'm currently dealing with, I'm like, okay, next time I'm going to do A, B, and C. I'll probably drop D. I'll probably soften E, and you start to go through the process that you went through, right? And then you start to line those things up and say, okay, this situation has taught me this, or this situation has taught me never to put all your eggs in one basket, or this situation taught me to be humbled and not to expect things when when it's possible that they may not happen. So, in the situation you are currently in, what has it taught you? Because it has taught you something, whether you realize it or not. So, and it may take a little longer to realize it. So, go back through this situation, whatever it is that you're in, even if it's a positive situation, whatever it is, what has that situation taught you? Number 18, no, number 17. What do you think you'll need to eventually let go of it to reach your goal, to reach this goal? Ooh, that's tough for me. But I feel like this is a good question for me. I'll say that again. What do you think you will need to eventually let go of to reach this goal? I like I don't know. I really don't know my answer to this question. So if you guys have your answer to this question, please drop it in the comments. I would love, 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 love to see it. But to reach my goal, I don't know exactly what I need to let go of, but I feel like I need to do a little more research. I need to do a little more planning. And sometimes you may have to go back to go forward. And that's kind of where my brain is in this particular question. Number 18, what signs of progress are you already seeing? What signs of progress are you already seeing? So, honestly, in my progress, in my efforts to do more, my efforts to put in more, hoping to get out more, to no longer be a skater, I do see progress. I see the way people respond to me. I see the way my managers and people that are in higher places respond to what I do, and even my coworkers. And it's like, oh, okay. And honestly, it seems like with some coworkers, um, I would get this amazing response, but I really didn't feel like I could celebrate because I felt like I didn't do much to get it, the result. And that's when I was really heavily into, I'm just doing what I got to do, right? But now I'm like, when I'm putting more in and then I'm getting that response out or a bigger response, it feels better because it's like, thank you for noticing my efforts. Because so often when people don't notice your efforts, you often draw back or revert back to where you came from. Number 19, if you had 20% more faith in yourself, what would you do next? Wow. If 20%, first of all, God, the Bible say you only need the faith of a mustard seed. Y'all, when I think about the mustard seed, and I'm like, man, God, I really don't have, like, do I really not have so little faith? Like, how do I get to the faith of a mustard seed when it seems so small? And it's like, how do you begin to get your mind around that? And I'm like, is my faith so little that's not even the size of a mustard seed that's so tiny because I'm not seeing the results I think I should see? And then again, that could be the problem because I feel like I'm not seeing the result I think I should see, or I'm not getting what I think I want, not thinking about all the things that I have gotten, all the things I have received, all the things that I'm going to receive. And when you do that, sometimes you cheat yourself. So if you had 20% more faith in yourself, what would you do next? That's a great question. Number 20, where did that belief come from? So when you start to think about believing in yourself and believing in God, because honestly, all things are possible through God, and it's my background is based off of that. My worldview is based off that, and I can remember being a kid, and I can remember saying little prayers for small things, and it seemed to happen instantaneously. And then now, as an adult, I'm like, Lord, what happened? Like, what happened to is it my faith? Like, what is it for me? So now I'm like, Lord, if I can have the faith of a child. And sometimes I found myself trying to play on that, like, okay, kids, I need y'all to pray for me because I know as a child, when they believe in God, it's a different level of belief, and they have that faith. And I'm like, they got that faith I'm trying to get back to. So I'm like, Lord, just give me the faith of a child again, so that I can begin to walk in my purpose and move where you want me to move and where I'll be great at, so I can start reaching people and helping people in the way that you want me to, because I believe the issue for me is I'm trying to do things the way I want to. And that's why I feel like I keep getting a wall, a wall. And it's like, okay, well, where is my breakthrough? Where is my purpose? So where did that belief come from? And that's a great question to ask yourself as well. So if you're just tuning in, we're doing 21 powerful questions to ask yourself, or 21 powerful coaching questions. So I'm just kind of doing this in lieu of our life and health coach because she is not here today. So I felt like if you had these lists of questions that you can kind of go through and ask yourself and just kind of ponder on those things and say, all right, so if I do this or if I do that, and what does this look like, and how could this help me? Because in order to, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So if you're going into your next chapter in life and you begin to come up with a plan on how to get there, then and the steps it takes, and you do your research and you go to people who's probably where you want to be and you talk to them, then how can you fail? And if you did fail, it's probably a small thing that you could probably narrow down as to why it did not work the way you had hoped it had worked. And number 21, what would be a belief that will serve you better? What is something that you can believe in that you feel like it would serve you better, that would get you to your next goal, will get you to your next step? I believe truly, if I stop trying to put faith in me and put the faith in God and start to go where he want me to go and believe in him and believe in his timing and not my timing, then I'm going to be better off. And I know for me, I feel like that feels so much easier said than done. So it's like, I know what I need to do, but I got to figure out how to do it. And that is often a battle that we all have. Knowing what needs to be, it's like exercise, y'all. We know what we need to do to get the body we want, but getting the motivation to do it, believing we can do it, and then starting to do it, right? Because you got to go through all those different things, and then you start seeing results and understanding things are not going to happen instantaneously. So those are the things that we need to work on, or that I feel like I need to work on, because I know what I need to do and how to do it, but it's just making those things marry, bringing them together, right? So then to go back over and summarize what we talked about, which 21 powerful coaching questions, or 21 powerful questions to ask yourself. Number one was, a year from now, what decision will you be glad you made today? Number two, which of your strengths will help you reach this goal? Number three, what will happen if you stay exactly where you are? Number four, what's the worst thing that can happen if you choose X option? Number five, if you weren't worried about this, what would you be thinking about instead? Number six, are you in your head right now or your heart? Number seven, picture your future self. What kinds of things does she believe about herself? Number eight, what have you been looking for outside of yourself that's actually within you? Number nine, what must you believe in order for this problem to exist? And number 10, how has fear, habit, and belief served you so far? Number 11, if you were woke up tomorrow and this problem were gone, what would be the first clue? Number 12, if this changed overnight, how would I be able to tell tomorrow? And then number 13, whose beliefs and worldviews have you unintentionally adopted for yourself? Again, whether it's a partner, a friend, or your parents, or people who have raised you, you could have unintentionally adopted their worldview and their beliefs. Number 14, which of your expectations around this have been unrealistic? Number 15, which of your accomplishments are you not owning right now? Number 16, what do you think you're being called to learn from this situation? Number 17, what do you think you'll need to eventually let go of to reach this goal? Number 18, what signs of progress are you already seeing? Number number 19, if you had 20% more faith in yourself, what would you do next? 20 is where did that belief come from? And last but not least, 21 would be what would be a belief that would serve you better. So, guys, that is my 21 powerful questions to ask yourself, or 21 powerful coaching questions. Because when you are going through life changes, you want to coach yourself and help yourself. So, I hope this has helped someone. Hope this has got you to thinking. Um, as always, if you have a topic or something you want to discuss, or another topic you want to revisit, please drop the topic in the comments, or in the group, or inbox Marie or myself. We will do the research for you and bring it before you. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for Unwind Friday. Please like, share, subscribe. We need you on YouTube, guys. That is the ultimate goal, is to get everybody to migrate over to YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great night.